But I want to introduce today, this morning, an incredible communicator. I know she's my wife. She's the mama of my kids. My kids are blessed beyond measure. You know why? Because our wives are like the Holy Spirit in our house. They really are. They keep us in check. They love us through everything. They believe in us. They look after us. They believe the best in us. They believe the best for us. So I'm gonna ask you to just give Pastor Shantel an incredible hand and a welcome to the stage this morning. She's going to introduce some guests today.
Amen, amen, amen. Before I can even continue, we have a special person in the house this morning. Very special person in the house this morning. And that is my incredible husband, love of my life. And it is his birthday today. So, happy birthday, Pastor David. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for all that you've done for us. So I just want to start out this morning by saying, first of all, thank you to all our beautiful mothers out there. We know that you could be somewhere else this morning, but you've chosen to be with us, and for that we are so grateful, so honored. So can we just take a moment? Can we give all of our moms a big hand in the house this morning? You know, today is all about you. Come on, Mom, say it's all about me. It is. It's your day. I don't want you working. I don't want you doing laundry. I don't want you cleaning. I want you relaxing and getting a mani-pedi if you need to. I want you to go shopping and spend whatever you need to spend to make yourself feel good today. I want you to eat great food and have a wonderful lunch and just enjoy. And if you enjoy watching a movie or reading a book or taking a bath, I don't know what you enjoy, but I just want you to do something that just makes you feel good, because today is your day. So kids, leave your mom alone today. She's not doing your laundry for the week. Not today. She's not cooking for you. I'm not going to grab your food for you. You can get your own food, Cameron. You can get your own food. All right. All right, well, we're so glad you're here with us. And you know what? Today I was thinking about just moms, and I was thinking about the beauty of moms and all that it entails. And I thought, how much better to share the story of motherhood than to have one of my dear friends, and I wasn't going to say your name wrong because to me she's Sara Brown, but to everyone else she's Sara Radley because I've known her a very long time. So Sara, can you join me up on stage this morning? I am so glad you're here with us today. You look beautiful. Happy Mother's Day. She's a mom with us. Hey. And you know you're getting old when with your youth, because she was in my youth group. Pastor David and I were youth pastors many years, huh? You saw the crazier side.
And I'm 30 now, so not that I'm giving away your age or anything, Pastor David.
30.
That's so crazy.
And you know what's so crazy about Sara, as many of you don't know, she won't brag. I'll brag because I'm mama. I get a brag on my spiritual kids. But if you turn on your television, and which channel is it typically?
It's called the Golf Channel.
The Golf Channel. Sara is on TV quite frequently, and she actually teaches guys and girls how to golf and form technique. And Sara, do you mind just giving us a quick, tell us about some of your accomplishments really quick?
Sure. I've played professional golf since 2008, and I played golf my whole life actually because of my brother, and I decided I wanted to be a mom and was going to be done traveling and playing golf. I got married to my wonderful husband, and so we were like, we want to start a family, and the Golf Channel kind of doors open, and it was a huge blessing. I work 2 days a week, but I co-host a show called School of Golf. It's kind of easy to remember. It's like going to class. So there's Martin Hall's the instructor, and I'm the student, and we like to help everybody that wants to learn how to play golf. Pastor Dave. He just wants Derek and I to play on his team whenever he has like outings. So he's already told us. So it's huge. It's a huge blessing, and I love it. Tell us about that. 2011, actually 2012, Derek, my husband, caddied for me for 2.5 years, and yes, he still wanted to marry me after that. I know, shocking. But we actually won a professional golf tournament in Indiana. Like I said, I don't like to brag about myself, but it was very cool, and it was nice to my bank account as well.
Very nice. So we're glad you're here with us, Sarah. I just, you know, what is so amazing is we go through moments and we go through trials and sometimes troubles. And what happens is a lot of times, especially for someone like you who is more in the public eye, because you're on TV, you have a ton of followers, you have more Instagram followers than me, a lot more. But somebody like you who everybody sees, they always think that your life is so perfect, it's so easy. You know, she never has any problems, she never goes through any hardships or difficulties. And what's so amazing is Sarah has a great story, such an amazing story of God's redemption, God's strength and protection and healing power. And I asked her to share just for a few moments a little bit about that story, because to be honest, if she didn't share this, she would probably never know that she went through this situation. And I can tell you right now, there are those out there who are going to be truly inspired by the words she shares. So can you just take a moment and share a little bit about maybe last year, kind of what was happening?
It's actually funny that you said that. When you asked me last Sunday to speak with you, first thought was, absolutely not. I am not perfect. I don't have anything to say. I don't have a story. And God spoke to me right there when we were sitting on the couch, and he was like, you have to do it. And then I was telling my mom about it, and she's sitting here actually. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. And she goes, you have to do it, Sarah. She goes, everybody has a story, and God will give you the words. So I was like, fine, it's Mother's Day. I guess I'll have to do it now. So I actually, funny enough, was flying back. So where I work in Florida, in Orlando, Florida. So I fly back and forth, and I was on the plane, and I was dead asleep, which is the most sleep I usually get in a week. So that's nice because my son's 4 months old. But I woke up from dead sleep and got right on my phone and started typing, like you said last week, Pastor Dave, you take notes on your phone, whether you look at them or not, you know? And I started typing on my phone, and I was just writing. The first thing that I wrote on the top was, who decides what perfect is? And I was like, Sarah, where did that come from, you know? So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, like, what is perfect? Well, I'm not. I just said that. All of us here are not perfect, but in God's eyes, we're perfect because God made us in his image, you know? So I was thinking about that and thinking about getting pregnant, and it was the most amazing thing. Actually, last Mother's Day was when we found out, and I told my mom on Mother's Day that we were pregnant. So it was just a huge blessing and a great story that I had, and, you know, my mom was crying, and it was just the best Mother's Day ever, you know? And then fast forward 20 weeks, I was 20 weeks pregnant. Derek and I we decided we were not going to find out if we were having a boy or a girl. So we were waiting, and we decided we were going to go get an anatomy scan, which is just a scan of the baby's body and how they were growing and how they were progressing and all that kind of stuff. We're in there. I'm seeing on this screen this beautiful baby. I see their face and their arms, and everything looks perfect. And then a doctor walks in, and instantly Derek kind of like shut down. And I just was like staring at the screen, looking at this beautiful baby. And he knew there was something wrong, and I didn't even think anything of it. So the doctor started talking, and first thing out of his mouth was, well, your baby doesn't have a nose bone. So Derek, who is usually like the calm, cool one, and I'm the one that kind of freaks out all the time. It's kind of probably why we make a good team. But I was like, okay, cool. What does that mean? What now, you know? And he says to me, well, that's a possibility that your son or daughter could have Down syndrome. So Derek, I think, not to throw him under the bus or anything, but kind of got sad and was kind of tearing up, and I was just like, what's next? I need to know a next step. I need to know a plan. Like, there has to be something to do. So we did a blood test, and they took the blood. I walked out of the room and instantly started crying. I'm going to cry now because I'm so mad at myself now for crying, because all I had going through my head was the most negative thoughts you could imagine, and I hate reliving them because I thought about, should we change our kid's name? Should we change the way that their room looks? Like, would people love them? And I knew that it didn't matter because I would love them and Derek would love them and our family had already loved them. But it was just instantly, those thoughts in my head were so negative that I am mad at myself still to this day that I even thought those, you know? So Derek and I go home and we'd cry and we hug so much later. It was the best thing that ever happened because Derek and I had never prayed that much in our whole life. We had never spoken to God. We sat on the couch and we cried and we laughed, even talking about all the negatives and then talking about what would be really cool and what we could do with them. And we just knew that the baby, no matter what happened, we were going to love this baby. I was in bed and I was thinking, and I've known you guys since I was 13, so a really long time. And I didn't know how to contact you. I didn't have your phone numbers then or anything like that, so I emailed Pastor Dave. And I went online and I found your guys' email and I was like, hey, I know that it's probably been a while since you've seen me, but I just was wondering if I could speak, if Derek and I could come talk to you and Pastor Shantel. And he wrote back immediately and was like, absolutely, like anything you need, blah, blah, blah. So we actually went out and we met Pastor Shantel and Pastor Dave at dinner. And I will never forget and never be more thankful for that night. Because I needed to hear, yes, you're amazing, but the words that stuck with me the most came from you, Pastor Dave, when you said, doctors speak in facts, but God is the truth. And I will never forget that you said that. And I don't think Derek will ever forget that you said that either. You shared the story about Cameron when he was born and all of that kind of stuff. And it was just the best time I ever could have had. And we went home and we were so renewed in our faith and in our baby. And it didn't matter. Like I said, it didn't matter because no matter what, thank you. It didn't matter because no matter what, like I said, God made our baby perfect. Yeah. No matter how he or she was going to come out, he or she was going to be perfect because God had made him. And God never puts you in a situation where you can't handle it. Yeah. And that is what you said. God never puts you in a situation that you cannot take care of because he is there always. So 10 days later, we took the blood test. It took 10 days to get the results. And there was it was the longest 10 days ever. And I just remember, again, backtracking a little bit. We went back to our friends. We have really close friends in town. And they would come up to Derek and I, and they were telling us how they were praying. And they were talking about things in their relationships that they never thought that they would talk about ever. And it was just one of those things where, again, fast forward to now, thinking back on it, God used us in that situation for our friends. Yeah. Because they opened up and they started going to church more and they started praying. And, you always say, you don't have to go around and be like, oh, hi, I'm a Christian. Hey, Jesus, hey, you want to know God? You just have to be a light. Like you always say. You guys have said that since I was 13. Be that light. And I feel like Derek and I were that light for our friends to go to church and to... I actually had a friend text me this morning because I told her I was going to come do this, and she was like writing me and was like, I'm praying for you. I can't wait to hear about it, and it's just one of those things where now I look at it, it's like God needed to use us in that situation for somebody. I don't know if anybody got anything out of it. I don't know, but I know, and Derek knows, and we've discussed this, that God used us to speak to our friends, and we didn't even have to do a lot of speaking. You know what I mean? So 10 days pass, and we get the phone call that there is a 0.01% chance that Palmer would have Down syndrome. So it was, and yes, you clap and I clap, and my heart is happy. And to be honest with you, it didn't matter whether the doctor said, yep, or your kid, your son or daughter is going to come out with Down syndrome, or they're not. It did not matter at that point because Derek and I were so good where we were. God was with us. We knew that we could handle it. It didn't matter what happened. It didn't matter what that doctor said when they called. Of course, it was great that they said there was no chance, but we knew that we were going to have a perfect child, no matter what. So with that being said, we had Palmer. He's 4 months old. We had a boy. And he was born January 6th. And he was actually dedicated here not long ago on a Wednesday night. But he is perfect. Yeah. And he's standing right over there with my husband. Stand up. sleep. I guess my voice puts him to sleep. No big. Yeah. Yeah. He's a chub. Yeah. But, you wanted me to come up here, and again, I kept saying that's all the word that was in my head was perfect, 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 and I'm like, nobody's perfect but God, except what we have and what God gave us is perfect. And this Mother's Day, I am so thankful for those two right there, and you two, and my parents, and just everybody in my life to celebrate me as a mom, and that God was able to give me that child to become a mom, and I'm very thankful. Thank you.
Amen. The words I kept hearing as she was speaking is these words. It's peace, be still.
Yeah.
And I can tell you throughout my life, I've had those moments where I didn't really know what was going to happen. And it's so amazing with Sarah's story because, we see the after product. We see the beautiful baby and he's perfectly healthy. But at that moment, she didn't have that confirmation that everything was fine with him physically. She was still under the thought that there could be something wrong. And what I love what she said is so powerful. It didn't matter however the story would complete because she got peace in that moment. So whatever the doctor says, she had peace. And I just want to, encourage you moms this morning, and that's what I really feel God speaking to the moms this morning is peace, be still. Whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever moment you find yourself in, whatever trial, tribulation, discouragement, moment of fear, moment of panic, moment of worry, I want you to know that the Lord is with you, that He can do all things, and peace be still. So let's just be affirmed in that this morning. I want to speak not very long. I know a lot of you have great Mother's Day plans, and like I said, go do some of those great, great things. So I just want to take just a few minutes and just encourage you moms this morning. Remember, this day is about you. It's about you being celebrated and honored. And I want to just take a few moments and just speak to the moms in the house. So I hope that's okay. Is everybody okay with that if I speak to our moms this morning? Amen, amen. I found a mother's dictionary online, and I actually thought it was kind of funny and kind of cute because there were some words that have some definitions, and I read this, and I laughed to myself because I'm like, this is so true because I'm a mom and I have two beautiful kids, and so I want to read some of those meanings this morning. So family planning, this Mother's Dictionary, family planning, the art of spacing your children the proper distance apart to keep you off the edge of financial disaster. That is family planning. Full name, what you call your child when you're mad at him or her. Grandparents, this one's funny. The people who think your children are wonderful even though they're sure you're not raising them right. Yeah, that's my parents, yes. Okay, independent. How we want our children to be as long as they do everything we say. Show off. A child who is more talented than yours. Come on, you know that's true. Sterilize. This is the last one. Sterilize. What you do to your baby's pacifier by boiling it, and then the last baby's pacifier by blowing on it. Isn't that true? The first baby, you're like, oh my goodness, nobody touch her. And then by the second, third child, you're like, I don't know, Pastor Phil, by the seventh child, you're just like handing your baby to anybody in the whole world, right on the streets. He's like, here, you want to watch my baby for a while? Well, I just want to say it's so good to be in the house of God this morning with our friends and family. And I love our moms here. I just love you because you are beautiful. God created you. And you know what? Moms do so much. I want to say, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you guys could do it without us. I really, really don't. I don't think you guys could. I don't think you kids could. I think about all that we do from... I won't ask for the hands, but who was up early this morning doing laundry? I was speaking today and I'm doing laundry this morning and I was cleaning and I was going to say cooking, but sorry, that's not what I do very well. Something got went off the table. But I do other stuff, okay? I have my strengths. We all do. But you know what? I can say this, is moms give so much sacrificially every single day. We cook, we clean, we encourage, we love, we go to the games. We remember I say remember because my kids are a little older, but remember the little apples, and you would cut them in little hearts and shapes and write notes in their lunchbox and do certain things for your kids. That's what makes a mom so cool and so loved, is all those little things we do. And many times you don't always get the accolades that you wish for, but it's so worth it, because sometimes a simple "I love you" is all you're asking for. I was thinking about the greatest mother in the Bible, and I have to probably give her the Mother of the Year award. And it would be Jesus' mother. When I was thinking about it, I thought Mary was such a perfect example of a great mom, because there was a few things that she did, and I just want to talk about that just for a moment. In Luke chapter 2, you can open your Bible if you choose to. If you have your Bible with you, we'll be going through a few verses this morning, either with your phone or with your Bible in hand. But some of you remember the story, Luke chapter 2, verse 41. It says this, it says, every year Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. When he was 12 years old, they went to the festival according to the custom. And after the festival was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but they were unaware of it. Thinking he was in their company, they traveled on for a day, and then they began looking for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. And after 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. Everyone who heard Jesus was amazed at his understanding and his answers, even at 12 years old. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you searching for me?" he asked. "Didn't you know I was going to be in my father's house?" But they didn't understand what he was saying to them. I was thinking about Mary, and here she is. She's the mother of Jesus. She's the mother of God. And she's a mom. It doesn't matter. She's still a mom. She's worried. She's like, what in the world? We've been looking everywhere for you. I thought about that, and I wanted to say this, I have 5, I probably won't get to them all, but I'll get to at least 2 or 3, but moms protect their kids at all costs. I have to share a true story with you. I actually forgot my kid for a while. We didn't know where he was, and I didn't really even notice. He was like 3. I wish I could say it was like last night, but no. He was like 3. And I still remember, I think he was 3, maybe 4. And we were youth pastors in the day, and Pastor David, I know, remembers this story. But I just assumed David was going to bring him. He assumed that I brought him. So we went to Taco Bell with all of our friends. And so anyway, I'm sitting there. I got some food, and I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, David walks in. I'm like, "Hey." And he's like, "Hey." And then we keep talking. Nothing, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking. I'm like, "Where's Cameron?" Now, I'm saying Cameron's not 15, he's 3, okay? Like toddler. Like, I should have been arrested, kind of. That's really where this should be going here. And I was sitting there at that table, and I'm like, "Where's Cameron?" He's like, "I thought you got him." I said, "I thought you got him." And we're talking like 45 minutes to an hour now, okay, without my child, and I didn't notice. I do have my moments where, not the best mom in the world, probably didn't get the award of the year that year. And all of a sudden, we get this phone call. It's one of our youth leaders, and he says, "Hey, are you guys missing anyone?" I'm like, "Oh, yes." He said, "I have your son. He's fine. Just found him in the street, but he's doing good now." That's not true. Not true at all. But he found him, he brought him to us, and we were all good. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking how many times I would drop everything in the world to go take care of my son, to go take care of my daughter. Does anybody remember, and I say remember, like I said, my kids are older, but remember those McDonald's days with those, their play friends, supposedly the play dates? I always got amazed. They were like best friends, and then they would fight, and then they would be like best friends again. It was the craziest thing. And every now and then you would meet this one little terror at McDonald's. There was always one terror, and he would like terrorize your child, like take their shoes and throw them across the place. And and I remember one time I just had to let this child know, "Hey, be nice to my child." And I didn't say it in that voice. It was a little bit more stern, but I think the kid got the point, and his mother wasn't very happy with me, and I'm like, "Guys, get in the car right now, we gotta go." So we had to leave pretty quick, because I was afraid that mom was going to come beat me up. And I'm pretty tough, but she looked really big. I was like scared of that mom. But you know, it's so important. Moms love to protect their kids. And I have to tell you one more story because it's just a fun day. It's just a fun day. So there was one time when my sweet little girl, her name's Mariah. She's beautiful. She's 19. She's going to college. She doesn't need me anymore. Whatever. And I'll start crying like Sarah because I love her. But I remember one day she told me in 4th grade, she said, Mama, the kids at school they don't want to sit with me at lunchtime. And I'm like, oh no. Every kid at that school wants to sit with you because you're cool, you're fun, you're friendly. Come on, Mariah. So I'm like, you know what? No, that's not true. She's like, Mom, it's true. And she's, you know, just this sweet. She was a really, really sweet girl. She still is, but really sweet girl. So I went with her to school, and I did a little bit of stalking mom moment, and I decided to have lunch with my daughter because I wanted to be with her that day, but also I wanted to see who's doing this to my kid. So I got to the school, and I sat down with her, and she grabbed her lunch, and I brought her like these little pails, and I sat with her, and she's sitting there, and all of a sudden I look, and when she sits down, all the girls leave the table. And then she's sitting there, and she looked at me, 4th grade, and I remember her words. She goes, see, Mama, I told you. And I was like, oh, no, that did not just happen. Oh, no, that did not just happen. I was like, I don't care how much I need to pay. I will pay for friends for my kid. I mean, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm like, these girls are going to like my daughter. And they were kind of like, you know, kind of little snotty and bratty little girls in the sense where they were mean and they'd say mean and hurtful things. And I still remember going up to one of them and being like, hey, you better be nice to Mariah. And she looked up at me and I said, no, do you understand what I'm saying? She's like, yes, Mrs. Swift. And I said, because I will find you. And she's like, I'm serious. I'm like, oh, I hope I better get out of here. Like, don't want to get arrested for this one. But, you know, you guys laugh at me, but I'm telling you, I know it's true. All you moms have done something similar. Come on, you had to protect your kids at all costs. And you know what? Mary was no different. When her own son was lost, she stopped the whole caravan. How, you guys, back in those days, it wasn't like 2 people. Like, when they did trips, it was like family trips, like 40 people. Does anyone have those families, like let's go somewhere, all of a sudden, like 12 people in your family all go together? Like, some of you guys have those families where it's like 30 people, you know, all go down to Circle K. I mean, that's kind of the same thing. I mean, so, you know, she's like, hold up, I lost my kid. Does anyone know where my kid's at? And they had to go all the way back, and they found him doing what he was supposed to be doing. You know, moms always see the best in their kids. They always do. You know, even that time when as Jesus was growing, Mary knew. She knew her role, and she knew she just had Jesus for just a short time. And she knew that she had to take care of him, but she also knew that she had to see the best in him at all times. And that's what's so important as moms. It doesn't matter what people say about our kids. It doesn't matter what people label them. It doesn't matter what the teachers say. It doesn't matter what other people say, because we know in our hearts, we know our kids' strengths. We know their weaknesses. We know how they're going to soar. We know how they're going to excel. And I still remember in high school, I had one teacher who told me I wanted to be an English major, and he just said, I don't think you should do this. You know, this is probably not your thing, your gift. And I remember switching my degree that week because my English teacher just felt like that wouldn't be a smart move for me. And I remember switching my degree to education. And I was thinking how crazy it was that I allowed one voice to kind of change the course of my life. And parents, it's so important. Moms, it's so important that you are the main voice in your kid's life. You're the one who tells them where they're going to go. You're the one who tells them what they're going to do. You're the one who tells them how they're going to do it. You're the one who tells them what college they should go to. They don't have to do it, but you have to be that voice of encouragement. You have to be that main sounding voice that they pull from. You're the well. And that's why it's so important, moms, that, you know, our kids lean on us, like they pull from us. And you know what I'm talking about. They suck the life out of us sometimes. And it's so important to fill back up that well and replenish, because we get tired, we get worn down, we get overwhelmed, we get stressed out. And it's so important to constantly be filling up that well, because our kids need us. You know, Moms hurt when their children hurt. I was thinking about the story of Jesus on the cross in John 19:25. And it says this: near the cross of Jesus stood his mother's sister Mary, and Mary Magdalene. And when Jesus saw his mother there and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to her, "Woman, here is your son," and to the disciple, "Here is your mother." Even at the cross, Jesus was taking care of his mom. And even at that cross, Mary was taking care of her son. She was hurting just like he was hurting. And I can tell you this because I know, and all the moms can attest and say this is true. When your kids hurt, we hurt with them. When they're happy, we're happy with them. When they're sad, we're sad with them. When they're going through moments, we're going through those moments too. You know, there's something so powerful about the bond. I think it's because we carried them for so long in our womb that we just have this amazing bond. And there's something so powerful about the connection between a mom and her child. You know, I know for a fact that God has put inside all of moms a desire to protect, a desire to lead, a desire to love, a desire to comfort, a desire to encourage. And your jobs, mom, is to just keep doing that the very best you can. You're going to make some mistakes along the way. You are going to make some mistakes. You're going to cause some problems along the way. You're going to say some things you should have never said, you regret saying. But I can tell you this, is kids are so amazing because regardless of whatever you think you've done wrong, they're still going to love you. They're still going to open up their hearts to you, because one thing I can tell you is the truth of the fact is you will always be mom. No one can ever take that away. You will always be mom. And I can say this, is the enemy has come to steal, to kill, and destroy. And if he can get in there where he can connive and he can twist and he can just get in there to separate that bond between a mother and her child, he tries so hard. But fight for your kids. Don't give up on that relationship. If you're an adult and you have adult kids, don't give up on those kids. Keep texting them. Keep loving them. Keep calling them. You know, I've heard different parents along the years tell me that they've stopped reaching out because, you know, it's not their job. If the kid wants to, they'll talk to them. And I'm talking like older kids, you know, over 16, 17. And I just thought to myself, you know, as a parent, your job is to be the parent and run after that kid the rest of their life. And one day, my daughter will have a child and she'll run after her kid. But I, as a parent, can't expect her to run after me all the time and always try to make conversations. And when things are hard, always expect her to fix it, because that's not her role. I'm mom. And I've seen a lot of parents who've given up. And they're like, well, if the kid wants to call me, you know, my son wants to call me, he'll call me. And all of a sudden, years go by. And it's like, fight for your child. Fight for what God has entrusted you with. Don't give up hope for that kid. Don't give up hope for your son, for your daughter. You know, God has placed a very special promise in all the moms. He said this, he said that he will never leave you, he will never forsake you. And I love what Sarah said, and it's so true. God will never give you anything more than you can handle. So I want to encourage you moms this morning that whatever you've gone through, whatever moments of difficulty you've had, whatever moments of trial and struggle, God is with you. He is with you. Can we all bow our heads right now? I just want to pray over our moms. And the words I keep hearing the Lord speak to my heart is, peace be still. Lord, I just pray for peace right now for all our moms. God, I just keep hearing you say, peace be still, to all the moms who just need a moment to just stop and to rest in you. Who just need a moment to just gather from your well, to replenish their well. So Lord, I say, peace be still. God, that they can see you, they can feel you. And everyone who comes and like little birds and tries to take away and pick off and feed off, God, I just ask that you right now, you replenish. God, you pour back in Those moms who are tired, those moms who need encouragement, those moms who need love this morning, those moms who have in some way given up on a relationship with your child. Lord, the mom who has lost hope, the mom who has lost joy. God, I say right now, peace, be still. God, I believe you can do all things. And I've seen you do all things, even in my own life. So today, I pray for restoration. I pray for joy. I pray for comfort. I pray for happiness. I pray for peace and kindness and gentleness and faithfulness and self-control. God, I pray all these things over our moms this morning. And Lord, I ask, Lord, as we leave this house, that you will bless each and every mom out there with your love and with your goodness and with your joy. In Jesus' name, everyone said, amen. I'm going to ask real fast that my husband just speak a special blessing over our moms this morning.
Amen. Come on, moms. Great job, Shantel. Blessed. My kids are blessed. Your kids are blessed. I want to remind you that. Your kids are blessed by you. They need you. Not do they always want you. No, listen. They don't always want us. But they always need us. And that is what I love. Sometimes it's not their job to love us, but it's always our job to love them. Always our job. So we're going to do something this morning to kind of end. We're going to invite all our kids back because, listen, we don't want you to forget any of your children today. I know you may think, well, Pastor Shantel forgot her kid at church. I know, but our children's workers were looking out for us. They're looking out for you. But they're coming in just with a gift to all the moms. And I think we have some extra flowers we're passing out to moms that maybe your kids weren't. Gabriel, Denise, can we make sure all the moms are getting, I don't know how you have that assembled, but make sure all moms, all ladies, let's do that. Every lady in the house needs to get a flower. They're going to have flowers on your way out, but we just thought it'd be great for your kids to bring you something today. I know, it's funny because moms are usually buying their own gift. It's kind of cool actually because you get what you want, but my kids are going to buy me the best gift today. But will all of us stand this morning? And we want to celebrate moms, and we want to celebrate families in this house. Moms, you create family. You create encouragement. You create love. You're the connecting force in our lives that keep relationship and peace, as Pastor Shantel said. Sarah, fantastic job today. Great job. Pastor Shantel, incredible job. Lord, I just speak favor over moms today. God, before they were ever our idea, they were your idea. You put them in our life to bless, to fulfill, to speak life into us so that it would develop the God potential within our life. Thank you for godly moms. We are never perfect, but God, we're striving to be perfected. And that is the heart of God. So Father, as we leave today, let us have great times. Lord, let us not worry about the small stuff today. Let's not worry about the arguments today. Let us not worry about what could be, what should be, what might be. Let's just celebrate moms today. Let's celebrate this day that you've given us to appreciate the blessing that you've placed within our heart and within our life. We love you and we thank you.